CFG Gamecast episode number 202, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, and so much more. So show us some love. Do us a favor and like, follow, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, the CFG channel, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, David Screen, and with me today, I'm with three awesome co-hosts today. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Well, twas a weird week. We've had some losses in the house, so we're just kind of riding it. I did continue to play Dreamlight Valley. I beat this new update. Well, it's not an update, it's the DLC. I beat A Rift in Time. So, all done. No more quests. We're good. But yeah, I'm a little sad about it. There was a villain who squared up with me, and I said, "Hey, Rapunzel, hold my Red Bull." And when I went to put him in his place, he ran into the building and locked himself in. I was like, "Really? Okay, that's really okay." Now I gotta wait for another update. So I'm hoping it's sooner rather than later. But it was fun. But yeah, we've just kind of been taking it easy and spending time together, and all those things when you lose some family members. So yeah.
Wait. Oh, it was about the cat, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
Herman?
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, Herman passed away this week, and then my grandma died, which apparently she died in November, but yeah, someone decided to tell me now. I was like, that tracks with your record, ma'am. So
that's jeez.
Yeah,
wow.
it's been a
no
day.
Kidding.
It's been like a weird day. So
it's freaking insane. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm hearing phantom meows, which has been freaking me out in the middle of the night because he would mouse hunt. So I've been hearing some phantom meows, almost like when the baby's asleep and you're like, did the baby wake up? Same thing. But yeah, no, we just been spending time together and relaxing and eating our comfort foods and just sitting in it, trying to take a breather.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully things will definitely get better for you on that. Man, that's crazy.
Well, they can only die once, right? So
right. Hey, but
I don't know.
Jesus. I know, right? Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
I'll be like, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, you know what? We'll leave it at that. Jesus. But you know what, Lex?
Yes.
You know who has one of the most ugliest sweaters I have ever seen today?
Whoa! That. His name is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What is going on, my dude? I'm just kidding. That sweater's awesome. The logo
How
is
dare
just
you? This is a lovely. Thank you. Big shout out to Blue Ranger. Obviously, my first ugly sweater. I'll say that in quotation marks. I think it's beautiful. No, this has been a crazy week, from literally going to learning the day before to the studio being shut down and this and that, which we'll get into a little bit more of that earlier. However, a shining star out of that is Once Human. When it's funny, Papadopoulos was like, "Yo, this is planned." That is an actual survival MMO. Yeah, I'm having a blast playing it. It's in open beta right now. It's from NetEase Games, so it's directly through their website. But I'm enjoying that. We got down on some more Wolong. We beat a boss without dying. I was really proud.
Nice.
I know that, if you don't know me. I know. I'm getting better. I'm growing. My power is getting greater. So that was a lot of fun. And then obviously getting down on some Marvel Snap. We're ready and geared up for the holidays. The kids now are off. My mom gets in. Like I said, still not sure if my dad's going to be able to come in or not. He's figuring out what his work schedule looks like there. But yeah.
So what you're saying is I get to party with your mom again.
Absolutely. She's here for like 3 weeks.
Oh,
She's here for like 3 weeks.
Mama
I know.
Better
Yeah,
get an invite for
absolutely.
dinner.
We'll see. Oh, for sure. And we'll see if we can get her on a stream
Yeah.
at some point in time too. That'd be a lot of fun. But overall, it's been a solid week, solid productive week. So
saying hello to Mama Spitty, that'll be pretty interesting. That'll be pretty cool.
yeah. No, she's great. She's great.
She's
awesome.
Hilarious.
That's freaking awesome.
The little one has left the room. Bye.
Got tired of sitting on his lap. It's like, okay, I got to go do some other stuff. With my sister.
What about you, Davis? How's your week, brother? Or where are you gonna?
Oh well, I've been doing pretty good, man. I've been I was unexpected. I was about to say something. I was going to introduce our
Usually
guest,
no one sets you up, so I've been trying to make a point to make sure you get that set up too, brother. Come on now.
I was not expecting it.
CFG Games himself.
Yeah.
How was your week, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I've been actually been really busy. I'm actually chugging along on Final Fantasy 15 again. I want to try to finish it by the end of this year. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I can still believe in myself. Then I also get. Yeah, no, thank you. Then I also was playing. I've been doing the review for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising. So I played at least 20 hours of that fighting game, and that game is a shell of it, of what it once was, like back in 2020. And I've just been having a blast on playing it, and so far, and it's actually kind of funny. So this morning I was actually going to say something about this because I thought this is the dumbest thing that I've like I just can't believe they even did this, but. I get a reply back from Blizzard, right? An email back from Blizzard themselves directly saying, your trouble ticket is now closed. And I'm like thinking, trouble ticket with Blizzard? I was like, when did I play a Blizzard game? And then I read they gave me the ticket number. And then I read what it was. And do you remember at the beginning of Overwatch 2, when Overwatch 2 first came out last year, when we were having troubles on, like, they weren't allowing you to get characters that you owned already, and then it was locking you out, right? So I opened up a trouble ticket that time to fix that issue, right? They just now closed that one ticket from last year, and they let me know about it today.
Stop.
And I was like,
"Are you?"
I am dead serious. I was like, what is
our legs
that?
Over here.
Oh my God. I was like, that is ridiculous. I completely forgot. I was like, Overwatch 2. I was like, I don't play Overwatch 2. I play it ridiculously seldomly. Like it's not even close. So so they closed my ticket. It's like, okay, I guess good for them, because I haven't touched a Blizzard game in months, let alone probably a year almost. Other than that, I've been just chugging along as always. But you know what? We also have a fourth guest. This is a really cool streamer that plays a lot of variety games, and I've been wanting him on the show for a while. Glad we were able to get him today. He plays a lot of different kinds of games, and he has a really fun community on his page. So definitely check him out. This is Sano the Lantern. That's going to be with us on the discussions today. So how are you doing today?
I am fine. I could complain, but I'm not. So I'll spare y'all that. I don't know. We've I guess if everyone's talking about their week, I just exist.
No.
If we're talking about the things I've been playing lately, well, over on my channel, I'm currently playing through both Super Mario RPG and Final Fantasy VII Remake to prepare for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out. What, February? Is it? Something like that, whatever. And in my off time, I am also playing through the new DLC that dropped for Pokemon Scarlet Violet. So a lot of RPGs in my life right now.
How's the new Pokemon?
If you can get past how ugly the game is, it's actually kind of fun.
You know what's funny?
I have so many opinions on Pokemon right now. I don't want to take up all your time complaining about that, but
you don't. You don't have to.
No, you're fine.
The funny thing about it is that we talked about the issues with that game last year. Originally with like the glitches, the frame drops, the craziness. That was actually one of my favorite games to suggest people to play, but at the same time was one of the worst games that I played too. because of how bad the drops are.
So bad. I was just like this. And I told this to someone else. It was like if it weren't for the fact that the game runs like it's made of, like it's held together by like paper clips and hot glue, it would be the best Pokemon game.
Yeah,
it will be the best one. No contest. But this game, why didn't they release it this year? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I think it was really getting me because I wanted to get the DLC. I really wanted to get the DLC, especially since they got the DLC from the previous generation one. I was thinking that this was going to be a good thing, but the amount of money that you're paying for DLC on a game that is essentially kind of buggy just turned me. Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm being nice, but it just really turned me off of wanting me to even try to even do it. So it's on my to playlist, but I'm not spending like how much is it? $30
I completely understand. I think the pass was, I want to say it was either 25 or 30. I can't remember exactly which one. But yeah, no, you are validated.
Yeah,
anyone who does not want to play Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet, I do not blame you. I'm a slave to the series at this point. I have a problem. I am sanity therapy. But anyone else who has more common sense than me, do not do it. I have shamed so many games for less than what happened here. So if this was any other franchise, I would not have purchased this game. However, I've been playing Pokemon since 1996.
Oh my God. Have you played every generation?
Every single one.
Oh God.
For better or worse. Can you hear the regret in my voice right now?
Yeah. I got gold, blue, and red, and that's as far as I went. Because then there's many new characters, I just couldn't keep up.
There are over 1,000.
Yeah, I
know. Yeah, now there are.
They've added more. Yeah,
I still play Pokemon Pinball.
Hey, I played it. They hit 1,000.
It's so good.
At in this game actually with Scarlet Violet, and then now there's even more. So it was like 1,006 at the end of that game. But then with the 2 DLCs, it's more than that now. I don't know the exact number at the moment, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
I think
I know all of them.
Yeah, I think I think I jumped the shark. I think I stopped when they started making inanimate objects like Pokemon, like there's that one Pokemon that was like a set of car keys. I forgot the name.
They've always done that,
I didn't know that there was what?
Oh yeah.
There have been inanimate object Pokemon since the beginning.
Yeah,
really?
This is a magnet.
Yeah,
that is true.
Course.
Fair enough. But, hey, it's not just a magnet though. There's a ball in between it though. There's a ball and there's 2 magnets connected to it, so it's different.
It is just a pair of magnets. There you go.
A polar opposites. I'm just kidding. But anyways, guys, but welcome, Sado. We'll definitely gonna have really cool discussions of what our games of the year picks are for our individual game of the year picks are this year. So well, anyways, let's get back into the rigmarole like we normally do each and every week. I'm sure we don't want to talk about just Pokemon this year. So let's get down to brass tacks. I know, right? So each of us chooses a set of topics or discussions of the world of video games from the previous week. But as always, if you've been with us for the longest of time, this is the last show of 2023. So every year, our last episodes, we always talk about the games of the years that we reviewed or played and stuff like that. And we give our individual game of the year choices. And we don't choose just one. We have usually the rules are the game has to come out this year. We have a set of three picks, not in any particular order. And we added, I think just last year, what was one of our worst games that we played this year as well. So each of us we'll go around and we'll just talk about it. We'll discuss it, and then we'll go through it. So now since we got Sano in it, we got 4 people doing it. So, but I'm also interested, the people and viewers on Twitch, YouTube, and on Kick, to be a part of the discussion. So by all means, if you're wanting to chime in about your opinion about what our picks are, by all means, type it inside the chat. I'm also interested in what your game of the year picks are as well. So just type it inside the chat too on what you thought was your favorite game of the year. Would love to discuss it with everybody here. So let's get this party started. So Sano, since you are a guest, why don't we'll start with you first.
I don't like this.
No pressure at all.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. So Oh boy. Well, I guess I've tried to put these in a bit of an order, but I feel like once I say them, it's like, oh wait, that's not the right one. But whatever. As I was telling the group before we started, while we are getting ready, is I am a very picky gamer. So I want to start by saying this year has been positively stacked with a ton of games. It's been ridiculous. Even someone as picky as I am I've struggled to not go a month without buying something, right? So there's a lot on the list, which is new to me. But if I go 3, 2, 1, I think number 3 I will have to say, and this one here is a surprise to me, is Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy. Ooh, nice one. Totally forgot this came out this year, actually. You're totally right.
Exactly.
So did I. Wow.
And you're the Harry Potter fan, aren't you?
Yes. But we know why I didn't.
Yes, we know why.
We know. I know.
Okay. Well, because I never really played the game and stuff. And honestly, I've never tried saw the playthrough of it. But I did see some small things like the battle systems and stuff, like the spell casting. Like, how fluid was that? Like, did you play it on console or did you play it on PC for one?
I play console.
You played it on console? Okay, so how fluid was kind of the battles and stuff like that you were going against in it?
Combat was fairly fluid. The main gimmick or the main differentiating factor with this kind of combat, you can think of it kind of as like an over the shoulder shooter in a way. But there was a very heavy rock paper scissors mechanic. So there were 4 different kinds of spells that were different colors, and you had to match. Let's say, for example, someone puts up a shield, you have to hit that shield with the same colored spell. Or if they're doing something like it was a lot of that. So you couldn't just keep firing a trigger and hope things will work. Like, you would literally just not be able to do damage against certain things. So you have to deal with them correctly. There are a lot of puzzles that were integrated into combat too. It was super satisfying, I think.
Oh, okay.
I totally agree too. My experience with it was I got the ending ruined on Twitter.
I'm sorry.
A D-bag because because there are people being idiots like that. It's like, I get it, man, but you don't have to do shitty things like that. So that kind of took the steam out of me from playing it. What I did play of it, and I do still plan on finishing it and going through because I enjoyed it. It was solid. I see why, and if you like that universe, that world and stuff like that, it was a fun, you get to really get in depth and kind of immerse yourself within that world and within that universe with all these different stories outside of the main characters that most people typically know. So, I agree. I thought it was solid. I totally forgot that came out this year.
So, you'll see
so many games, right?
You got a good pick. I think you really. You're right. Like I know Lex was saying earlier off stream that there was so many games that came out this year, but wasn't really sure if they really did come out this year.
No, I had to do double check my math on some of the things, and one of my picks came out a couple months ago, and I was like, no, it didn't. You're lying. Stop it. I like the Hogwarts choice. Since my dad has passed, it was our thing to stand in line to get the books when I was a kid. This was before we had any knowledge of her and her crappery. And I've kind of lost the Christmas spirit. So maybe that's something I go and play and I don't know. Yeah. I like that choice, so I'll let you continue, sir.
Yeah. All right. My number 2 would be Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, so there you go.
Hi-Fi Rush was one whole hell of a sleeper release. Nobody knew anything about it. It just sort of happened, and I saw the trailers when it came out, and I'm like, I have to play that game. And I don't normally play games so console-wise. I have a PS5 and a Switch, and I use my PC every so often. But I saw that, and it's like, I'm downloading that this instant. Excuse me. I'm a big fan of rhythm games, and I'm a big fan of action platformer style games like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta and all that stuff. And that is a very, very, very good fusion of both. The soundtrack was amazing. The characters are super endearing. The gameplay is really good. And it's not a game that overstays its welcome either. So it's not the longest game, but it is packed with a lot of replayability, like going through the main story, and then coming back to different levels when you have certain characters unlocked and when you have certain skills and like go find other things and then get the secret ending and all that stuff. It was just a blast to play, and it was not one that I expected to play at all this year.
Oh, nice. Like those are the kind of games that I definitely love, especially, essentially this is theoretically a Microsoft game, right? Like a game that was specifically for Microsoft. So so the game that really kind of went under the radar that no one, there was like really no marketing or any kind of thing. They just silent released it and just said, okay, it's out in the ether, just go out. And then because of how good it was, the word of mouth gave it love playing about it. And it was free. It was a free game for the Xbox Game Pass. So like it was just like everything. Yeah. Well, when it first came out, it was originally on the Xbox.
What wasn't it announced during an award, or not an award show, but wasn't it announced during a show, like just out of nowhere, right? Like just like,
Microsoft did this thing called Developer Direct, I believe it was called. It was in
that's what it was.
It was in January, and they announced that game and released it at the same time.
And we all said that looks amazing.
That was brilliant that they did that. I love that they did that. I still haven't even played the game, but I've seen people play and stuff like that. Mad respect. Not so really good. Something that maybe necessarily up my boat. Love the. I'm a huge audiophile though. You already know it's something that incorporates music with game mechanics. Mad respect to that, and just how everything that they did about that, I loved. I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not even a game that like Microsoft is like known for publishing. Yeah, this definitely has. I can't think of the name of the studio, but it's the same studio that made I'm drawing blanks, but yeah, Evil Within. They made Evil Within, so it's like, and that was even a turning point for them. So this was completely out of nowhere. And
Tango.
I know Tango Studios, or Tango Softworks, I think they're called, something like that.
GameWorks, I think.
GameWorks, Softworks, Tango Interactive. We'll go with something.
I
know it flies under the radar a lot because, of course, you have like the Microsoft faithful, and Starfield is like a second coming of Jesus for them. But I think Hi-Fi Rush is the best game Microsoft is released not only this year but in a good long time.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely on my radar to play it. I'm meaning to play it, as one of the people told me I should definitely try it and stream it. And I will. It's just on my to play list. There's so many other games. Let alone what's coming in like February is going to kill me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So what's your third favorite?
My number one is Final Fantasy 16.
So I knew that was going to be there somewhere. I knew it. I knew it was going. Like we have 20. They have 12 chances. I knew it was going to be one of it. It was going to be here somewhere.
Well, I mean, from my top three, or from the other two, you have to understand that like combat is a very, very, very important thing for me. Gameplay in most games, in most things, is super important. Final Fantasy 16 delivers that in spades. It's one of probably the most grand games I've ever played. The boss battles in that game are wild. Like running up the arm of a giant colossus, wild. Story fantastic, graphically stunning. Soundtrack is amazing. I can't sing enough praise for Final Fantasy 16. I really, really wish that it did better commercially than it is, because I know Square is going through issues right now financially, but I can't sing enough praise for Final Fantasy 16. I want Final Fantasy games to continue delivering this sort of experience.
Wait, are they saying? Wait. They're not. They're saying that 16 undersold.
They're saying 16 did not perform as well as they expected.
I mean, didn't it sell like 3 million units in the first month?
Apparently, they wanted more. You know how it is with these businesses, dude.
I mean, good night. That was outperforming their best. Hold on, I'm gonna have to call shenanigans. What do you think of that? I'm sorry,
dude. There were a lot of articles that released that was like all doom and gloom. Like apparently, like Final Fantasy 16, while it did well, it did not do as well as they wanted it to, and it's that and a bunch of other games that they released this year, which is causing issues. It's weird.
Wow.
That's insane. I think partly too the fact that they have this exclusivity deal with PlayStation, I think they've learned is actually hurting them more than it's helped them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them open, whenever that deal runs out, which I feel like it's coming up.
I believe development of the PC version of Final Fantasy 16 is underway.
Is it? Okay.
As far as that goes, though, I don't know what it looks like to going like to other consoles like Xbox Series, for example. But but the thing about that too, though, is I mean the install base for PlayStation 5s in the world is super high. So I'm wondering exactly what's really going on.
Okay, here's what I'm not understanding. Okay, this is what I'm seeing right now, and it was funny. The first thing I saw when I said units sold, and it said Final Fantasy, it's like it's 3 million copies. It's into enough. They're in question. And here's the problem, and this is the weirdest thing I don't understand. We're living in an age of digital downloads. Still to this day, they don't consider selling the adding the units sold digitally to what is sold on here. They're saying 3 million units sold, physical units sold of Final Fantasy.
I downloaded mine, so my sale is even counted there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So 3 million physical units. Like, I want to know what is the limit that they're wanting to get out of this?
There?
Yeah, it's like, what were you asking for? Because Jesus, because 1 million units is what most people want at the minimum, right? And don't get me wrong, I know that Square is a huge company, and then they want their they have to get like higher metrics just on the normal up and up, but 3 million units is incredible. Let alone physical units sold is just ridiculous. I didn't get digital, So, but then they're saying I'm trying to find how many digital units are sold right now on this real quick, because if you're telling me if this game sold if this game sold 6 million units and he's saying that it didn't sell as much, then they're just being greedy as hell at that point.
Which I mean, that's also par for the course, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right. I agree with you though. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best Final Fantasy stories that I had personally experienced. Again, I haven't played a ton of them, but I just I enjoyed the overall story, how the icons were utilized within the story. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like at the end, personally, I absolutely shed some tears. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was feeling it. I was feeling it. I was in it. I was immersed. You're right. The battle was gorgeous. The music, the freaking everything about it. Like, I want every Final Fantasy game after that to be like that. At least that style, the feel of it. It was great. I thought it was great. I agree.
I mean, don't get me. I mean, I love Final Fantasy just in general. So, of course, I was playing it, and then I mean, in my process of playing it, I was just having a time of my life. Let alone, I love combos too, and then just doing the combo mixing and mashing and just stuff like that with the spells and seeing how high and how crazy you can get with some of that stuff. It was like I was having the time of my life on it. And yeah, I mean, I think like the way they did the storytelling was definitely something that Final Fantasy needed, because that's something that they haven't been doing really well for in a long time. So I was definitely glad on that. Ever since in my opinion, ever since Final Fantasy dropped their turn-based systems with 10, and then they've been experimenting on the different kinds of way. I'm perfectly cool with experimenting on it, but their stories were kind of either dry or just didn't make any sense. But this kind of brought them back into focus with this story. So I definitely love what they were doing with it. So no, that's definitely a great pick.
Also, props to Final Fantasy for giving me a villain that I absolutely hated.
Oh
my
yeah.
God, Annabella! Oh my God, I cannot wait for her to get her comeuppance. I was playing this game, and every time this woman shows her face on screen, my chat goes crazy, saying like, "Where are we finally going to take it to her?" It's like, I don't know, but I'm with y'all. Let's see what happens. I can't remember the last time I hated any character as much as I hated her.
Yeah, that was a vitriol amount of hate. I will admit with Annabelle. Well, yeah, and especially how she set Oh, well, I don't want to ruin it. No spoilers, but golly, no,
Yeah,
but good,
yeah.
good pick. Okay, and what is the worst game that you of 2023 for you, Sano?
Game of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about this quite a bit, and I was just like, there are a lot of games that I played, and like I don't go into a lot of things with really high hopes. And I think one game in particular I did go in with like slightly higher hopes, but they did dash them, and that would be Forspoken.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's that's a very interesting topic with Forspoken, I will say. So, and
that's
well,
the game Smitty messes up the name of all the time.
Yeah.
For the game I play, I was
So-
like, "Wait, you play that? Now Forspoken. Got it."
So I did that a lot myself, admittedly, because I'm a big Destiny player. I know, shame me if
Thank you.
But I'm a big Destiny player, and they had an expansion called Forsaken, and I constantly called it Forsaken, like toward the beginning. I have to like that would catch me every time and say, "Hey, what are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh, I meant Forspoken, my bad." And I think the main thing with Forspoken that really dropped for me was, and I guess a bit of backstory. I'm not the biggest fan of open world games, and you have to do them a very specific way in order for me to actually really enjoy them. The main thing is the open world. How is it used? How do I navigate it? How big is it? Because sometimes just making games big for the sake of it is just, it's overwhelming or boring. One or the other.
Probably empty.
And that's where that's where Forspoken really dropped the. That's where Forspoken really dropped the ball for me. The world was dull. It was very empty. In fact, after beating the first main boss, like the world is broken up into like 4 or 5 different areas. And after beating the first boss, they shoot you over to the next area, and you've only maybe explored maybe about 20% of that area. Like the game doesn't actually tell you to go in other ways. They just kind of want you to. Navigating was not that fun. I didn't find the parkour system to be all that intuitive. I thought she moved too slow for the world to be as big as it is. Like, for example, with Spider-Man, they doubled the size of New York City, so they made you faster. That was not the case here. It was, I don't know. Also, my hand will get tired because they mapped all of combat to the R2 button, and of course, the PlayStation 5 triggers are like they're resistive, and they made them resistive for some reason. So I'll get tired playing it. For that big trailer that they made, that tech demo that they decided to turn into this, like it showed a lot of promise, but I think it just became open world game, right? Where it's just like big world checklist of objectives. Got to parkour, got to find stuff, level up, RPG elements, that sort of thing. So it's just like all the things that I hated about open world games just kind of got put into this one. And at least it looked flashy. Forspoken walked so Final Fantasy 16 can run, is my opinion. To be honest.
Forspoken was the beta that they're like, okay, we'll build off of this from this. Okay, here we go. Jeez, that's freaking Forspoken was the prototype, and then they're like, okay, let's do this the right way now. Final Fantasy.
But yeah, that's my most disappointing. I had so much hype for that, and it's just like, nah.
So like, I wanted to play it when I first saw the preview of it when it first came out, but I think what turned me off about the game was when they allowed you to play the demo of it. I believe the first hour or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, this game is too open, way too open for very little, excitement for me. I mean, that's in my own opinion. So, it really was disappointing because of like, I was really rooting for this game to be something like successful because it's like a new IP and wanting, and also let alone a female protagonist at the beginning of all this, which is surprisingly fairly rare in my opinion. Like, to be backed in this on a soul story action adventure game. Not saying it's impossible. It isn't impossible because we have Horizon and stuff, but like it's still very uncommon to see a female protagonist in this kind of situation.
Almost definitely.
So I think that like I really wanted this to work, but
especially as a woman of color too.
Especially woman of color.
That's needle and haystack right there.
I love this game, and I'm glad I waited.
Yeah, I wanted to, and I played a demo, and I was like, I could care less if I ever played this game again.
Okay, but
I didn't.
Let me ask you this, Sano. Now, you got it day one, but like, if you saw this game for like $20 or $30, would that be a game that would that be a good enough game for that, for you to spend your money on it?
$20, sure.
Yeah, okay. So it's not,
you can't go too wrong for $20 to be perfectly fair.
yeah, but it's not like okay, there's a difference between like a bad game, like Revenge of Kong Island or something, or the day before or stuff like that, but like you're paying money to play the bad game, but I mean it's still a game that you may enjoy, but to say that you spent this was a $70 game,
70.
It make you feel a little different because you'd be like, wow, this isn't hitting the way I wanted it to hit, especially the amount of money that I put in on this,
Yeah, sure. Just like some superstars.
Yeah.
$20 I think is fair. I think this is fair for like, $20, $30 at most. $70, nah.
Yeah, because this is still on my list. I still want to play it, but I just don't think I want to. I still don't want to spend full price of this. That's one of those categories I was dangling on when I was.
I won't spend any money. I won't spend any money on it, to be honest.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, eventually it's going to be on PS Plus or some service.
Oh, very likely.
You know what I mean? So, like, I'll play. Like, again, maybe I'll check it out. But I mean, you make a great point. I have a hard time a lot of times with open worlds. The reason I've never beaten a GTA. They're too open for me. I'm going to try again. Every time I say I'm going to do it, and then I don't. And I just, it just doesn't happen.
You're just the dude that likes putting their hand on a hot stove and just saying, "Hey, maybe different next time."
I mean, maybe I've matured some, and maybe I'm able to do something. Maybe they have a system like, look at a Spider-Man. That's pretty open world, but like at least I have markers and things that I can like follow that like I'm not going to eventually get to a point where I get stuck and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm going to just walk away and do something else now and probably never play this game again.
I mean, in Spider-Man's case, in Spider-Man's case, one, the traversal is amazingly fun. You can just turn on and swing, and that's the game for you. And two, New York City in that game is very nice to look at.
Yeah, it's incredibly nice to look at. And like the details, there's always something to see inside there. And guess what? Lex's best mechanic in Spider-Man, which is camera shots. You can always do camera shots in it.
This is why I won't go back to it. I hate taking photos in games. Don't make me do it.
For real, I totally forgot that Forspoken even came out this year. It felt like something that came out last year. That's also a shame too that they didn't utilize the haptic feedback in a positive way to enhance the game.
Although most games don't, unfortunately, in my opinion. Like
that's the only thing that's got me curious about Avatar. They were talking like 200 to 300 different haptic feedback things for that game on PS5.
Okay, well, I'll see to believe it. Okay, full acceptance.
I don't know.
It's a shame I don't have an interest in Avatar. Otherwise, I'll be interested.
I know. Like, nah. That's the only thing that's even piquing my interest. Is like I want to find something that really utilizes the haptic feedback in a good way.
Spider-Man 2 does.
Spider-Man 2 does. I think the best example is still going to be Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, Astro's Playroom is like the best demo of it. Yeah.
And to be fair, Astro's Playroom this probably get off topic, but Astro's Playroom was just a good game in its own right. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, standalone game. Yeah, it was really good. It was actually really good for what it was.
The new game, Blue Spear. The new game, something Frontiers of Pandora, I believe.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That one. I've heard mixed with that. All right, but Lex. You are up.
It's my turn. Okay. So, from somebody who is partially colorblind and has trouble seeing, these are my picks of the year. Are we all surprised that I chose Alan Wake 2 as one of my top 3? No. Oh, it's so good. Everything about it is amazing. It's dreamy. I don't know. It's everything from the first one, and they added to it and made it so much more. And it didn't take away from it. It still gave you that feel of the first game, but also it gave you, because sometimes people will add to the second game as like try and like fluff, right? They give you fluff. This doesn't have fluff, and I like that. It's for sure, there's a reason that it got voted as game of the year, even though it literally just came out. It is so good. The storyline is fantastic. And I feel like for somebody playing darker games sometimes is hard for me, especially if it goes from day to night, because if I turn the gamma up, I can see better when the sun has gone down, but then during the day it's too bright and I'm constantly having to adjust my settings. I'm not really running into that issue at all. And there's some sequencing. Some of the fights have been a little rough for me because the bad guys are essentially like wisps of smoke. So it's like their body outline, but then they're wisped. And so it's dark, and then more darkness is walking at you. And it's a little hard for me sometimes if I'm not standing in the right area for me to see that. But that's a me problem. That's not a game problem. Everything is done fantastic. You are the detective, so it's fun to get all of your evidence and then put it up on the board and try to go and find out what happened, right? And they do it so well. And there's a part in the beginning. This isn't a spoiler. You're going around town. Obviously, there was a murder. You are a detective. You have to investigate. Duh. And you, in the car ride over to this place, you talk to your daughter. And you have to do some interviews out in the field, and then you come back to a cafe to ask this couple who witnessed something some more questions. And after you do, you turn around, and it's one of those like old school coffee shop kind of setup. So she's kind of in the center, almost like it's a bar that you could sit at, but she's also waitressing the tables. And she goes, "Oh, I know you. I'm so sorry about your daughter." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Well, that's how I know you, because your daughter died when we've just been on the phone with her." So, but the way that they made that dialogue run was just masterful. It's like you're reading a book, and I love that. So Alan Wake 2 is definitely one of my top picks. I can't say it's my number one.
Well,
this is not in order.
Fine. Yeah, we're not marking him in any kind of order particularly.
Yeah.
But I will say this though. Oh, no worries.
No, it's okay.
No worries.
No particular order.
No worries. I just made it. The reason why I do that is because I don't want to make it like hard, because there's just, you can't like, it's like there's like literally thousands of games that came out this year, and you're trying to remember all the games that you played, and then you're trying to to say you're going to rank. Like, what's your your one favorite game? That's why I wanted to do three a piece, because I was like, okay, we know we may not be able. So no,
you're fine.
You're all good. But I will say this: I've been wanting to play Alan Wakes, but I've never played any of the Alan Wakes before. I should play one of the first one and get into.
There's only one.
What
before the new one? So there's two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still plural, but Alan Wakes. Yeah. I'm still gonna play the Alan Wakes. But like the whole thing is like I'm going to but I've just been it's still on my to playlist. I'm more worried about now because I mean I've seen the graphics on this one looks ridiculous and the effects are insane, because I believe the first Alan Wake came out in like the early 2010s, I believe. So
the first one that was also an Xbox exclusive back then too.
Oh yeah,
it's still really good though. I played it 2 years ago, and it still holds up. Like the graphic wise, it's not like, oh, I'm playing an old game. No. Like it still stands up, because your fighting mechanics, a lot of the times you have to run to where there is light, that heals you from damage, right? And so that's the same for the first game. And because of that, I feel like it made the quality of the game better in some ways, because they could hide things, right? Like the graphics weren't up to snuff as they are now, but because of that, they could it was kind of like putting cream cheese on a cheese
developer
board.
trips. Well, yes. Developer tricks.
Yeah. If that makes sense.
I mean, this game, like, I don't like playing horror games, but this game is more suspenseful. So I think this is up my alley in my deal. So we'll see.
It's more of like a mystery. So like if you were watching like a horror genre, this is more of like suspense and storytelling than it is horror. Like, it's in the genre, but it's its own little side. It's not gory or anything like that, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool. All right, well, okay. Well,
all right.
Well, good deal.
My next one. Are we surprised? Disney Dreamlight Valley. I play this game pretty much every day. I call it my depression game. When my dad passed, honestly, like, there wasn't a lot game-wise that I felt, because this wasn't early access. So this has been out, but it officially released, plus with the DLC, which I played both. I finished all of the quests today, actually, because some of the critters come on different days, and I missed the last day it was there, but I had to wait a week. But it's fantastic. I love the game. It gives you the feeling of being at Disneyland and like that joy you felt as a kid, but it's not like a nostalgia you can't reach. Like, you just feel good and wholesome when you're playing it. So I've dubbed this my depression game, and I still stick with it. It's so good. I love it. The farming doesn't feel forced, because as you level up, things kind of become almost self-automated, and so you're able to just grab and go. They did update the storage system, which I'm happy about, because that makes my life a little easier. You still can't label them, but I don't think you'd be able to really read the labels anyways. But it's a lot of fun. I love this game. I can't say enough about it. I don't want to give things away. Like, obviously there was a big hullabaloo because in the trailer of the original game, you see certain princesses and things like that, and they don't come for a while. So if you're playing and you're frustrated because you're not getting new characters, level up the characters you have, baby. Get them to level 10. Hang out with them all day. So yeah, I basically have like $3.5 million in that game, and I'm ready for the next update.
You're definitely just
I'm
ready.
having so much fun. And I love the new tool that they gave us. So you have tools, obviously, because you farm, you fish, you do all that stuff, and you do it with the people on your island. So it's Animal Crossing times 100, because I dropped Animal Crossing multiple times. It was all about design. I'm like, I'm not that person. I want to do the labor, and I want it to have a reward. Does that make sense? Like, and what's great is when you get a new character, you have to place a little house for them on the island, and it's totally themed around their movie, and whether that's Pixar or Disney, and you get to place it wherever you want. And you can move them too. But it's neat the way that they do it. They don't force you to change designs. And now they have a voting system where people take pictures of their island and you can vote on it. And it's really neat to see how people have moved things on their island to make their day easier. And to me, it doesn't work for me, but I like what you're doing. So keep doing it, because it looks really cool. I do like designing cardigans. I don't know what my ideal is, but you get new little logos and designs, and so I make cardigans. That's what my character mostly wears, is a cute little high-waisted shorts and a cardigan with a little collared shirt underneath, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, well, that's fun. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well,
and you can take pictures, but you don't have to.
You've been, I know you've been talking about that for a good bit last week, and now I know even some more now this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, go.
I actually said it's been in early access, because I'm like, wait, did that really launch this year? I feel like it's been around forever.
Yeah,
I feel like it was released last year.
Technically, it was on the beta. It was not beta, but it was not in its official release time yet. But the official release, I believe, was early the spring of this year when it came out.
No. It just happened December like a week ago.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was the expansion did.
Plus, really? No, it was a full release.
No, the official release.
Because now you can go to other people's islands. Don't ask to come to my island. Stay in your island.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I feel like I give too many expectations, and people are like, "You played 600 hours." I played 600 hours, and I haven't really moved things. So I feel like people have expectations. Don't have expectations if you come to my island. No, now you can. It's multiplayer, and they released the DLC. So when they opened it to the full game, that's when they added the multiplayer and the DLC at the same time, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So now it's
my only thing about it though was that it was supposed to be a free game.
Yeah.
Because they still have those, like, it's a free to play game mechanics within the
Oh
game,
my god.
within the currency, right? Do they? I don't know.
I don't
It is
know. I
free.
mean,
Can we please
So-
stop putting free to play mechanics in purchased games? Can we please stop doing that?
So, okay.
they get
you
too much
can
money, man.
You can
These-
buy moonstones. Like, let's say you finished everything. You've beaten the current storyline and you're waiting for the next update, which will have more to that, obviously. But you every day you get to farm stuff, right? Every couple hours you can technically, but they drop 2 boxes every day. You get your money, your dreamlight, because they have coins, they have dreamlight, and then they have the moonstones. So the moonstones you use to purchase if like Wally has a storyline and it's like extra bonus stuff. If you don't have enough, you can purchase moonstones with real money, or you can just wait a couple days and farm them. Does that make sense? The
That's what
DLC
I
did
don't
cost
like about
money
the
though.
game.
Oh, see,
I mean, but
I don't mind that.
Yeah, no, that to me is I can understand it being a free to play game and having that mechanic, but you guys have now decided that you're not gonna. It is a paid game. It is not a free to play game, but those mechanics and that currency is still in there. That to me is problematic. It's just a farm. They'll farm it and farm it. That's the only reason why I really haven't jumped into that game, because I want to really badly, but like I don't got time to play. I'm a Destiny player. You already know, dude. Like I already got enough of that.
That is the second time we have seen that excuse today, and that's very interesting to me. Because,
well, I think so. Okay, but I will say, I think the reason they did that is because they have a shop, and every 5 days it updates, and so the shop will have different outfits that you can't get in the store, and you can't purchase them with your moonstones that you have been collecting. But if you don't have enough, you can then purchase with real money. But I don't know. I kind of like that it has that option in case you don't have it. Like, hey, this may not come around again, and if you want it, you can get it. But it costs 3,000 moonstones, and you're like, dang it, I only have 2,800. I could wait 2 days, but it might be gone by then. So
it shouldn't be time loss. It should be a mechanic in the game
those things do come
that you're
back,
able
though.
to do to earn them. Is how I feel about that. The fact that it's time locked means there's only a finite amount that you'll be able to get within a certain amount of days. And then if you were to have something, I can understand that though, because like if you then were to have something that were exclusive, hey, I hope you saved up your moonstones.
But those things aren't mandatory.
Okay, but to be fair, though,
it's just for aesthetics.
To be fair, we need to move on this. But,
It's okay. So my third game was Demonologist. Totally forgot that it was released this year. I don't know why it feels like I've been playing that forever. Love Me made the best sentence about it in a nice, concise way. She said, "This is the game." What was the game called? That Phasmophobia wishes it was, and I 100% agree. It is so good.
Is that just shots fired?
It kind of was. That was that was a backhanded compliment.
I liked Phasmo until the last 5 updates. I don't know what they're doing, but Demonologist basically turned everything I wish that Phasmo had in the game and said, we can do that and better. And I really like the structure of it. I think it's a lot of fun.
It does look a lot better.
With that game. It's great. And there's hidden things, and I think that's really fun too. So that's all I'll say about that. Worst game of the year was Redfall.
Hey.
I wasn't rushing you. I wasn't rushing you.
I
wasn't.
I'm sorry.
You can take your time.
I was gonna power through mine.
Yeah, you'll take your time. I mean, I'm just saying you don't feel like you're being rushed. I'm just saying it was like you were just on that one previously, so don't feel like you're being rushed. All right?
Okay. Well, yes, okay. I like Demonologist a lot. I don't know. There's just something about it. They have that je ne sais quoi, you know? It's just really good. Like the way that they take the mechanics you wished were in other games and put it in this one and then elaborate off of it is really well done. I think
this looks really good.
I think the scares are done really well. I liked it a lot. Currently Redfall is on the screen. That is not what Demonologist looks like.
Oh, right. Oh.
Yeah,
no, I was no, not that.
That's Demonologist?
No.
No.
There we go.
but it's done really well. I like the hunting of the ghosts, but it also kind of feels like you're being hunted too, and you're on a timer essentially, depending on how hard of a you're doing for that particular level. And they've added to the houses. So like the first house that you get that you play, because you have to get to a certain level as a character to open other houses. So you can kind of cheat if your friend's like at 64 and you're at 5, but you really want to go to that hospital, just play with them. You can get there. It's just, I don't know, it's done so beautifully. And then there's little puzzles inside each one. And then they've added, so like they opened up the second story to the first house. And then they've every update just, it makes me very happy.
Yeah, okay, so Demonologist itself overall just seems like it's going
it's
good.
very good. Are we
All
waving
right,
each other, Smitty? Okay.
Sounds good. All right,
Now,
so what's your worst?
My disappointment. Yeah. It was Redfall. Shocker. I really wanted that to work. I thought, oh, this is going to be great, and I can play with my buddies.
Everyone
and we're
thought
gonna
it was
have
going to
lots
be
of
great.
fun. And it looks like it's very colorful, but I can see the color, so I don't think I'll have too many problems. I thought that they did like artistic liberty where some of the freeze frames looked more comic book like. No, they just don't move. They don't add to anything. And they added a bunch of fluff. Stop putting fluff. I don't want the fluff. I don't need a fluffer. Get out of here. I don't know. And like, I feel like someone said that they made it better. No, you shouldn't have released the game in the state that it was.
First impressions are very important, and I understand this.
But
I really hate when someone says, when someone says specifically, "Oh, it's gotten better." It's like, okay, so if it was a piece of crap at first, then yeah, it's going to be better than whatever it was initially. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going. You're saying, are you saying that is it worth my time to play this game? Because I mean, you're right. First impressions is everything, especially when it comes to spending money on a game, you know. And and then if you screw that up, it's a ridiculous uphill battle to get a person's trust to go and say, yes, I want to do that. So don't tell me it's going to be better. You got to show show that to me at that point.
Not every game is No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Right.
Not every game can have that. Yeah, a lot of people have problems with No Man's Sky when it first came out, but not every game can have that sort of turnaround. Like look at the many live service games that we lost over this past year alone.
A ton.
We lost. Well, Anthem is later than that, but we lost Anthem. We lost Night City. We lost. There were a lot of games that were that came out. We lost Avengers, Marvel's Avengers. Terrible game. Go play it. But like a lot of those games live and die by the first launch. Especially for games, I know you were saying that you don't like fluffier games, but like a lot of these games are rated on engagement. How many players can they have playing at all hours of the day? Right. So that first impression is very important because those people are going to be the ones that are fueling that engagement. That's where the microtransactions comes in. That's where all the other stuff comes in. So if you fail to grasp people at the very beginning, you're not going to live. That's just how it is.
100%. And I did do the update. I went in, and the issue I was having previously was still there. I couldn't get past a third wave, and what's the point of me going and doing this mission if I can't even get past it and then continue on in the game? I just do the first 2 missions over and over again until you fix your bugs. That doesn't seem like a fun time for me. And like that's a waste of my time. I can be playing something else and enjoying myself instead of being frustrated and wanting to throw my keyboard across the room, you know? So maybe it's better for some people. For you, I'm very happy. I hope you like it. On the other hand, if you're going to put garbage and put a bow on it, it's still garbage with a bow on it. And if I can't play your game, it's not fixed. It's not playable.
Well, Ermagod just playing the devil's advocate here, but she'll say that they're saying that I played it an assload of it and I love it, but it's definitely improved. I mean, but like you're saying, like
we're talking about Cyberpunk.
Oh, was it Cyberpunk?
No, not this. Yeah.
Thank God. Okay, good. I was just
I was gonna say, how'd you get past the third wave? I'm stuck.
For Ermiger,
Hey, subjective. Everything is subjective. I was just assuming that's what it was after I was looking into it.
No. This game is absolute trash. I'm gonna say, like, I had something. I'm not gonna name any namers or anything like that. But there was something sponsored wise that I was supposed to do, and I said straight up, I was like, "Yo, dude, I can't do this. I played the game. This is trash. It like there's so many things wrong with it. I felt like I had a lot of potential." But and not only that, but this is also after Microsoft had purchased Bethesda. So I thought that they had gone in, looked to make sure that Bethesda jank wasn't in this, and they did not. And they said it later on. They're like, yeah, you're right. We weren't focused on that. We were focused on Starfield. And they still got that Bethesda jank. So this was just overall disappointing. It wasn't, I was like, why would I waste my time? And I feel like that's how a lot of people felt. Why waste this time on a game like this when we know there are so many games that came out last year? Nope, I'm on to the next one.
Okay, but yeah.
I would say,
you say something? Sorry.
I would say, like, I was the most interested in Redfall at the very first trailer that they showed. They showed, like, this flashy trailer that had these interesting looking characters fighting vampires. Like, this was really cool. It lost me when I learned it was first person. Yeah. I don't understand why games keep making characters look this, interesting and enticing. But then now I am that character. No, I'm not. I'm not this one with the afro. I don't want to be the one with the afro. I want to learn about her. I don't want to be her. I don't see my character anymore. So if it's a character-driven game, why am I going behind? Like, why am I going behind the scenes as that character? I should be playing, like, watching that character. Like, and
Agreed.
That was the thing that really turned me off of it. And it's like, I kept it on my radar because, of course, this was supposed to be the resurgence of Microsoft since they bought Bethesda. They were still at the time trying to buy Activision Blizzard King. They are doing good things with Ninja Theory. Double Fine was doing some good things with them. So it's like, I'll keep an open mind. Of course, we fast forward to the state it launched in when they first said that the game will not launch at 30 frames a second. And I've taken very high issue with that when any game nowadays says it's just flat out just not going to do anything above 30.
Let alone FPS.
And prior to that, the funny part was any game that said that had way more issues aside from the frame rate, like Gotham Knights, for example. Mm-hmm. So the game launches, is launching buggy, and I don't get it. I just don't understand. The crazy part, but the crazy part was Microsoft said, like, it went through their internal testing and they said, no, this is good. Somebody lied.
Clearly.
Somebody clearly lied.
Clearly did.
Yeah.
So it's like, you say it's like, oh, you expected Microsoft to go in and clean up. They said that they were. And then when the game came out, they had to come back and say, oh, we thought it would be okay. No, you didn't. Mm-hmm. What happened to Crackdown when y'all released that the way it did?
Crackdown, the only reason why they released Crackdown was because they had the game and they needed to release it. And you remember that was the time when they didn't have first party.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
there was no first party, and they didn't have any first party games that were being released at the time too. Because remember originally that one game that Platinum Games was going to do.
Scalebound,
Scalebound, but then they canceled it. There was no first part. There was that spread of nothing that they needed to put something in. So that's why I look how they just said, okay,
release a game when it's ready. See, that's why I respect Hi-Fi Rush as much as I did. They released that game, no fanfare. They just dropped it. Say, hey, this is ready. Play it.
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we could basically punch this game in the gut like hundreds of thousands of times, but we know this,
and it's so much fun.
It's going to be crap. yeah. But all right, well, that's good. That was cool. That was cool. Your picks there, Lex. So
thank you.
Let's move on to Smitty.
Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll try to keep it. I got a couple of just honorable mentions, and I'm not gonna say Street Fighter 6. Yeah, Street Fighter 6. Just because to me, what it meant coming out, Evo, the biggest Evo I've ever going down, and everything that circulated around it. I felt like that was a huge dub for the fighting game community and folks just in general. One of the most iconic fighting games of all time. I felt like that was a huge moment for them. And then the other one for me is the finals. That was something that I didn't know I was going to enjoy. Yeah, and that's newer. It's not even like really something that I'm typically like up my alley. I do enjoy fast-paced shooters like that are kind of team-based and whatnot. Like, it's just fun. Whether I win or lose, I have fun regardless. So I'm enjoying that.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry.
I was going to say something.
Okay, let me get into my list. The first one for me, because I've switched it up here a little bit. The first one for me is Super Mario World or Super Mario RPG remake. I played this game as a kid. Okay, I never finished it, so I finally finished it on this newer one. I had so much fun. I couldn't put it down, and I'm not even that like you were. This is how much I don't play my Switch. I had 48 hours total for my recap. Okay,
oh my
majority
God.
of it was Super Mario RPG.
Do you know what's worse, Smitty? My recap on my Switch was 23 hours. It's not good.
You're worse than me, man.
Hours.
23 hours on Switch. I know. I don't know what it was.
I think I was at like 88. But still,
it was 23 hours for me. I was like, oh my God.
That was Mario Kart, but that's a whole different conversation.
And that is a whole different conversation. You're right. But yeah, I mean, that's, it was just fun. A good, fun RPG. Again, it just got me back to that like earlier days of first learning how to properly play an RPG and learning that stuff and what it meant. Like, I just had a blast playing it. I couldn't put it down. I grinded through that, so I was, it just really stuck out to me. Great music, great level design. Everything about it is fantastic. If you haven't played it,
you know what? It's actually kind of funny because I've never played the OG version.
Actually.
Yeah. And but I mean, every time when I did, I was aware of it, but we just couldn't afford it because when it came out, that game was an expensive game. I think it was I think it came out a year before the system pretty much stopped, so it was really expensive, like about $70 or so. But when I came in, so I knew how the game kind of worked, and I was really hyped to kind of play it for myself from A to B, to A to Z, and yeah, I mean, this game was hilariously great. Like, I mean, it may not be the hardest game, or let alone since it's a turn-based RPG, it really wasn't that hard. But like the little simple mechanics, like you had to press A at the right time or A on the time to defend, and then all these different kinds of engagements that you had to do with your characters, mixed with the stupid little, the personality traits of some of them. Like, Bowser was kind of like, he wanted to be cool, but he kept on talking to himself a lot, He was self-conscious of what other people thought of him.
You get a whole different side of Bowser, man. It was great.
All these different small little things that they did in this game was so great, and I loved it. It was just the adventure, the storytelling of it was really, really good, and that's why it may not have to be it doesn't have to be the hardest game, but it's just, if you're having fun playing it, definitely did a great job doing that.
Yeah, and that's the Nintendo way.
Yeah.
Like you, I hadn't played the original before. It was always something that I knew of because people reference it all the time, either with music or anything like that. But I've never actually played it myself. So my copy was actually a gift from one of my followers, and we've been playing it at their request. And I would if I knew I would be having so much fun with this game, I would not hesitate to have bought it for $60. The game is super lighthearted, which is, there's always room for a game that doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's just really pleasant. And no, it's not the most difficult game on the planet, which is honestly good at times, but it's a joy. It's honestly a joy. I can see why the original is as highly regarded as it is. It's a cult, as a classic.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Good choice, Smitty.
Yeah. This one's gonna be a bit of a shocker for you guys. I switched up some things on the fly, and I'm sorry you're not gonna have this, but prepare yourself. Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
That's not really much of a shocker. I was thinking if you would because I was thinking you were feeling this.
Yo, dude, as a person that hates Soulsborns, I hate them things with a passion. I appreciate that people love those, but I'm not a masochist. And, I don't like that kind of pain, but I am having a good time. I'm understanding now where people were or where people get the enjoyment from those types of games. I feel like this is definitely an easier version of those types of games. But I understand the satisfaction of getting your butt whooped and you keep getting back up and try to switch up a little bit or try to change a little bit of that or try hopefully for this or hopefully you get that dodge, that parry this time and you finally get it. So mad respect. It's got the story is pretty dope as well. They just came out with a new DLC here on the 12th last week. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's just, again, something that was very unexpected, but I love unexpectedly enjoying a game that isn't something that I typically play.
Okay. I've never played Wolong. I mean, I've seen it and I thought it was good. It looked like a fun game, but like kind of like you, I don't usually like playing like, Dark Souls games as much anymore. But I mean, something about it just didn't really go with me personally itself. I mean, and I know you were doing it because of charity originally. That's what kind of got you into playing it. But for the most part, though, it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm not surprised that this is your game of the year because I was surprised. I'm more surprised that you're still playing it because, like,
this isn't my game of the year.
Well, I mean, it's one of your favorite games of the year. I mean, that's why you guys are making it one of it.
Whoa.
It's like, if it's not your game of the year, then why are you talking about it?
I know you said don't list them in order, but I totally have them in order for myself.
Okay, but like,
yeah.
It's like you're talking about. I was just assuming.
It is one of my games of the year, but yes, it is. Yeah. It is. Sorry, I have my own internal hierarchy.
Figures.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's solid. Cool. It's solid. I'm enjoying it. It's in depth. It's got like as in terms of like I love looting. It's got a ton of loot and customization and stuff like that. So like I'm still learning as I go. But it's definitely something that within that genre, which is it's just more palatable for me. Thank you. Somebody say it.
Yeah. You're welcome.
For me, as opposed to like jumping into like whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, mad respect for it. And then for me, the game. This is what I said. I switched it up, but I totally forgot about this. This is the game for me that's game of the year is Exo Primal.
Oh, okay. That's not a surprise.
Dude, like Exo Primal. Mm-hmm. So I remember them putting out a trailer at like last year's something or another, maybe Summer Game Fest or whatever, and I was like, meh, dinosaurs, mechs, you know what I mean? Like this kind of looks generic. Mm-hmm. Had no plans to get it, play it, whatever. However, it was released on Game Pass. All right, I'll install it and give it a go. Boy, I had no idea what kind of ride I was going to be in for.
You fell in love.
I really did. And it really filled a void for me. You guys know I love Overwatch. Overwatch is just kind of, I haven't really played a lot of it. This has kind of filled that Overwatch void for me. It had way more of those kind of Overwatch mechanics and play style in it, like playing as a team, but it also has the PvP or the PvE aspect of it as well. So it's super like, even though you're playing some of the same stages, it always felt different because the order of the different things and activities or whatever that has come into play, it varies. Their development has been, I feel, pretty on point. They've released a roadmap. My biggest critique, and again, I did an actual review, excuse me, for a website on this game. And my biggest thing was the fact that this is a PvPvE game that does not have true crossplay. Why would you make a game like this?
No crossplay in 2023. What the hell?
Bro,
okay, well they messed up their crossplay. Yeah, they messed up their huge crossplay on this. Yeah, they didn't fix it. Is it still the same?
No, it's still the same. There's no way whatever system they built in. So they did say on their website that they plan on making a mode that utilizes proper crossplay. Why would you not out the gate do that? It didn't. It never
mode?
made. Yeah. So like, even though you're playing on PC and you got it on Steam, I can't play it with you because I'm using it through my Capcom with Microsoft. That's kind of shenanigans I'm talking about. The dumbest thing.
So wait, even different like marketplaces on PC you can't play with? Who okayed that?
You know what I think? I think this is the same people. This is the same people who did like Monster Hunter and thought it was a good idea to do it that way too, or something. I don't know what the heck that is.
So
I've never heard of that.
I'm just trying to make sure I understand what you're saying. So like, you buy the game on through Steam, and I, let's say for example, buy it through Epic. We can't play together.
We would not be able to play together. Right.
Nope. Him and Dusty.
Yeah. But if you go into a lobby, you can get it's crossplay. So you can get matched with PlayStation people, freaking wherever in a normal lobby. You just can't queue with people and get into a group with people in crossplay. Makes zero sense. I don't even understand. Yeah. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What's even worse is that they made a website, Capcom ID, it was supposed to be allowing people to log in and create their Capcom account, so you'd be able to crossplay by going by their IDs. But you're telling me they don't? It seems like they're bypassing that too, which is okay. Anyways, whatever. Yeah,
that's the dumbest thing about it. Aside from that, though, that would make it like for me. That would have made it darn near for me in a higher echelon of ratings and stuff like that. Cause like, I feel like it was on the cusp of being a great game. It's a good game and still game in a year for me because it came out of nowhere and I've had so much fun. I still am playing it. They're, the new releases with mechs or the new armors, or different variations of them, new levels is still ongoing. So, for me, Exo Primal, I love it. Give it a shot if you got Game Pass. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Ravage says it pretty perfectly. It's terrible, but I love it. And that's all that matters.
Everyone has a game like that, though, in all fairness. Everyone has a game like that.
It's all that matters. Yeah. Because, I mean, like for me, I will never play this game because this does not look good to me at all. Like, I think it is not. And plus, I think the fact of if you have to go circles on the online, that just turns me off completely.
Wait, you're talking about Exo Primal? You would never play Exo Primal?
Yeah, I'm never going to play Exo Primal. That's not my game. Yeah, no, you know me, dude. That's not mine.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, I would never play this.
If you're a fan of like Overwatch and like what's that one silly game that you guys play? The one that's a bootleg Overwatch?
Fortnite?
No.
Valorant?
Davis. No.
I don't know what game I play that's like.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, wait.
Paladins?
Paladins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would, if you like those types of games, you would very greatly enjoy this. It's not so heavy on the PvE sometimes. And here's the other thing, too. The story was really good. It had a solid story. It was weird how it's presented, but once you figure out like how they present the story, you're just like, oh snap, this is kind of crazy. So that to me was another pleasant surprise from the game.
Okay, well, interesting. Well, that's a good one. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that that is a surprise for me. Okay, what's your worst game?
Quickly, my worst game, you should already know. The day before, talk about being bamboozled. Shenanigans and rug pulls. We all knew it was coming. Leading up to this, just some marketing. And again, I'm not opposed to getting a Kickstarter game, getting an early access game, whatever. You know what I mean? Things can be rough. I've gone through some of the development cycles. Scum is one of them. You know what I mean? And just kind of being a part of that and seeing it ride. yo, dude, number one, going in, it ain't even a survival, dude. It is an extraction game, which I don't play. I mean, I know extraction games, you know what I mean? They're fine. Not something I typically play. So that in itself, I wouldn't have even gotten a game had I not thought that it was a survival game. And I even thought, you know what, maybe this is like their, like, here's where we're at. We're going to open it up. Let us like throw down a timeline or whatever. Nah, son, we didn't even make it a damn week. We didn't even make it a damn week. They said
it was barely a day.
Yeah, it was barely a day. It was like 26 hours.
I think
we saw the man behind the curtain.
I think Twitch kept its artistic nudity policy longer than they pulled up.
Wow, that's freaking
only
hilarious.
Yo, unbelievable. Speed running a company into the ground. This game, I don't know why they didn't stop this from releasing or any of the stuff, dude. Like, this was a total whirlpool. And then for them to come on after and be like, well, shit happens.
Okay, but here's the thing about this one, though. First off, you already know where I stand about early access, let alone like, Kickstarters programs and stuff like that. But,
I don't know.
I have good luck with early access. I just would like to.
Long story short, because I know, Smitty and I usually kind of disagree on this, but I will say that like I don't like putting my money on something that's not complete, or let alone or something trying to support. I can agree with that. Yeah, or try to support something or a project, let alone when they're asking you to give them their money to use it as runway money to complete the game that you're wanting to purchase from them. I don't believe in that, because I think like if you're wanting us to buy as a consumer, you got to give us the good first before, instead of telling us that you're going to use the money that we're giving you to make the product that you're promising us. That doesn't make any sense to me. So like, I'd rather wait, show me the good, then I'll do it. That's basically the gist of it. So that's why I don't like Kickstarters. I don't like any of this stuff when they're asking the company, and then let alone returning back that you're not getting any little profit of the money that they're going to get. Because technically you're using the money as their runway, so they should give you a little piece of the pie for it, not like a freaking T-shirt or something like that for it, depending on it.
It depends on
the amount of money that you're putting in.
And for me, it's more about just feeling like I was a part of the development of a game. I don't have that skill set personally, so you know what I mean. Being able to see something and being able to help to shape it, whether it be with my opinion, just getting it out there so people can see it and stuff like that. But I totally respect people, you know what I mean? Like, hey, it's not a complete game, but like for me, it's like, I know that going in, and I'm just like, it's because I've had a lot of great, like, positive experiences doing that too, along with the scammy negative experices.
Yeah. So with that said, because I don't want to open up a can of worms on this, but with that said, I'm not a fan of this is exactly what these people were saying. They were promising a lot of different things. They were saying, this game will do this game will do that. They were giving false information with the trailers that they were giving, saying that this game will have this, and this. Then when you come in and you get the game, it doesn't even feel like it's an alpha build. It looks worse than an alpha build in its sense. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is ridiculous. Promising the world and stuff like that. And then you're going to give this garbage out. And then let alone charging, how much was it? $40?
Class action lawsuits, man.
Yeah, $40.
$40.
Yeah. I wouldn't even waste my time on that.
I did get my money back, by the way. I did get my money back. Yes.
So that's why I'm like, just like, I stay away from most of that stuff. And if it's early access, so don't get me wrong, I've gotten some early access games. I'd rather just want to show the proof of all of this, but like, man, dude, this was terrible. Like, just in general, like just the amount of people that were conned from this in general was incredible. Like, on how many people were like thinking that
it was
this game
disrespectful to the industry.
It was incredibly disrespectful to the industry.
Not only the industry, but the folks that make up the industry in terms of the consumer base. It was like, no one's gonna know that this is nothing like what we said it was gonna be, and it's assets from whatever from which is fine if you use assets from a store and stuff like that, but like, you didn't spend 5 years on this shit. What are you talking about?
5 years.
Definitely. If you did, you spent Yeah, what the hell did you spend 5 years on?
This was a DevCon weekend. That's what that was.
Yeah, exactly. All hands on deck. It was just you and me, buddy. I got pizzas on the way. We
Man said he just hired somebody off the street. Hey, I'll feed you. Come. Just press the keyboard a little bit.
Their team was made up of volunteers. They said that their team was made up. They said full-time volunteers and part-time volunteers.
Stop.
No,
Here's
if
the
you are
kicker.
getting a
Their game
volunteer,
was
that is
made
an
by
employee.
volunteers. No wonder it came out the way it did. They're not getting paid for this.
Cat would have coded that.
No,
game.
dude.
Stop.
What were you saying, Lex?
Insane.
Lex, what'd you say?
Cat could have coded that game better. If anybody remembers Dax, anytime I watched Smitty or like our close friends, he was just la 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 on the keyboard. He could have done a better job.
Ridiculous.
He could.
Goodness.
Oh gosh.
Ridiculous.
Anywho.
I mean,
Crazy.
Class
Just
action
very
lawsuit.
disrespectful.
I
Very
think-
disrespectful.
however, looking at it at the optimistic side, I think Jeff Keighley should have given them a game award on saying how to burn down a business in such a short amount of time. Because literally, it was like, good God, it didn't even last a week, man. Like the game came out on Friday, then on Monday or Thursday or so, on Monday they decided they were saying, "Oh, we're closing down the studio. This is not what we were expecting."
They wiped their YouTube. They were
gone. They disappeared. Yeah,
it happened.
Yeah. Well,
But y'all made Prop Night. The Prop
Lord.
Night dead too, I guess.
yeah. Wait a minute though. But is the day before completely removed from Steam too, or is it?
No. The
I thought it was
servers are
whitelisted.
still up. Oh, you can't buy it anymore.
Wait,
You
what'd
cannot
say?
buy it anymore.
You can't. Okay, good, because that's garbage.
Mm.
What did
And
you
the
say, Sana?
servers are still up.
No, I
Sorry.
was saying that the game was whitelisted, so you can't buy it anymore.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
'Cause, that is just terrible.
That would have been
garbage.
ridiculous. Yeah.
And the reason why I'm not even showing video of this is because it's virtually impossible to find straight video of video game trailer with other people's opinions on how bad this is. You know what we should do? One day we should actually just take a look at Steam's negative thing, because I love looking at Steam's Steam's reviews of the players who play.
Oh, yeah.
It's freaking great.
The fact that you even this isn't even a genre of game that you said this game was.
Yeah, that is bad. That was
I'm so sorry for anyone who bought it.
yeah.
Bro, that was so insane, man. I was like,
I said we had a lot of good games this year, but we also had a lot of bad ones.
a lot.
I hadn't
of
even
bad
thought
ones.
about that until now, but we had a lot of bad games come out this year.
yeah.
And that's-
I mean, the big the big bad ones that we already know, Kong and Golem and stuff. And we're not, I'm not going to. And then the reason why I'm not even mentioning them is because we knew they were going to be bad. Those were bad games, and I didn't personally play them, so I'm not going to say it. That's why I'm not going to say it. I'm really glad that y'all aren't saying them either, because if y'all never played them, so that's cool. But yeah. Yeah, so because we got money, we don't want to waste our money on garbage. Simple as that. All right, was that it, Smitty, or was there anything else?
That was it for me. That was it for me. Yeah.
All right. Verdict is still out on Star Citizen. I think Star Citizen is a scam, to be honest with you, because I'm not a fan of how they're asking for money, and now they're asking they're saying that this game will do this, and this, and now their platform is asking for more money on with the microtransactions than
suspicious.
in the game. And
wait, they put microtransactions? I have the game. I haven't played in a grip.
have you seen how they're doing it? People are buying ships. You have to buy the ships directly, and then there's different package sets. This game, and
you
keep
can't
in mind.
build them?
No,
Or buy them in-game currency?
I don't know. I don't know if you can or not, but I know they if you go to their website, there's literally a store where you can buy the ship. You have to buy certain ships, like special edition ships, kind of almost as if that's an NFT. So
yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
And here's my problem though, and this is the biggest problem. This game asked for money for a Kickstarter, got $65 million from a Kickstarter back in the day, and they are still, and now they're always asking for constant money and upgrades and stuff for a game that will never be released, that never will be officially released.
That's insane.
So that's why I don't like it. I was like, I don't think it's worth it personally. So yeah, don't get me started. It's straight up embezzlement. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have been like, okay, y'all. I mean, you basically didn't promise if someone put kicks. It's theoretically it's possible. I mean, it's been over 10 years now if someone should be pissed off that their Kickstarter has still not have gotten into fruition on this yet, because it's been 10 years, over 10 years.
Mine wouldn't even do Kickstarter. I'm just a video game slut, and I absolutely threw buckets at it so I can play it because I love sci-fi. I love space. You know what I mean? Like, I still want that. I haven't played it in the grip just because, like, the flying is hard, man.
Yeah,
like,
perfectly.
It's rough. And, like, I just haven't, like, I don't got friends there, and, like, you know what I mean? Space is lonely.
Not gonna fight for the that's why I don't talk about my Star Citizen. That's already been on my list forever.
You have the game? Why are we playing together?
I don't, because I don't play it. I don't play. I will never play it. All right, so my pick, that pick is not the worst pick for me, so that doesn't count. What are we talking about? All right, so my picks are actually, I will say this because, like, first off, the pick is I'm surprised that this is one of my picks because I don't usually play this kind of genre as much anymore since I'm an adult now. I was, or I should say, man-child. But but the biggest thing was Super Mario Wonder. I
want to play that so bad.
Yes, dude. Like, I don't usually play platform games anymore. I'm not usually, like, I just don't have the attention span to really do it anymore. I don't know why. I just feel kind of bored when I do it. But for some reason, Mario always does it right for me. You know, like the 2D Marios have always been very, very fun in a very, like, you know, satisfying way. It's they're not too hard, not too ridiculous, very simple, just fun. But like Mario Wonder, besides the mix on the new animated graphics that they added to the characters in this, as well as like the music and the just the new special forms and stuff, it was great. Is great as it is. But what makes it fun, even on top of that, is the special stages that you can get into, and it's not like, oh, okay, you get one stage to get inside these special stages. No, every stage has a special stage, like to get it into. Like, you're doing the normal, you know, A to B, but then once you find this one specific flower, the stage warps into something crazy and weird, and everything goes weird on you, and you're trying to hurry up and find the extra I want to say, I think it was like a seed or something, the extra seed or so, just to find it out, to get it and then finish the stage. And it is so much fun. Like, I could sink in hours in this game. Apparently not enough hours because I only had 23 hours this year for my Switch. But
that just means you have some work to do.
Yeah, I definitely do. I know, right? Well, when I think about it, I only played, like, there was 2 games I played. Apparently it was this and it was Mario RPG apparently this year on the Switch. So yeah, so like I definitely love this game. It's a very nice family oriented game. Oh, and they know who they were catering this for too, because yes, there is a tougher you can play as a regular character like Mario, Luigi, Toad. There's more than one Toad, so different kinds of Toads, and then there's this one character which I think looks like a character from the Rabbids, but I think it's
it's about Nabbit.
Yeah, Nabbit. Yeah,
Nabbit was in New Super Mario Brothers.
He is
the Luigi version. Yeah, he's an interesting character.
Oh, okay, cool. So so if you have if you have like a kid or if you have a child that's like, you know, maybe a little bit too young and doesn't really good at platforming and hitting bad guys and stuff, he's virtually invincible. The only way that he can die is if he falls off a cliff. Like, that's it. So like, if you just wanted to play for fun, you have that as a feature too. So everyone's meant to. Oh, here's one of the crazy bonus stages
which is technically like an accessibility like option. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it was kind of.
Yeah. I'm mad at my family, dude, because that's why I got this game, and we haven't even gotten that far, dude. I want to play it so bad, and they're like, they keep dying and jumping. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Yeah. Let's play
I'm going to have to start a separate save, and I'm about to run
let's play some Roblox. That's basically what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Can I play Roblox? Like, you didn't want to do Lego Fortnite? Like, at least, like, I'm waiting to jump into that. Just, you know what I mean? Like, and like,
Lego Fortnite is tight. I will say.
I want to play Mario Wonder. Yeah. I want to beat that game. My family is not cooperating.
I've never seen so. What?
When it comes to Mario games, the 3D ones are typically the ones that catch my attention. You know, like Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 3D World. Those are like some of my favorites. This was the first 2D Mario I have ever seen that had me like so intrigued by it, and I really like. The only reason I didn't buy it is because I had already bought Sonic Superstars and Spider-Man 2 that month, so it's like I'm going to hold off for a bit. So when I get the chance, I'm definitely going to visit it because I really want to play that game really badly.
Oh yeah,
I think it definitely shows that. Like, I think I read somewhere that essentially the team that made it was given as much time as they needed to make it, and it definitely shows their creativity is wild. I really want to play it really bad.
Oh yeah, definitely play it, man. It's definitely worth it. Okay, the second game is, I don't know if y'all would be surprised on it for me, but I definitely love this game, and then I'll tell you why, is Street Fighter 6. That an honorable mention for me because I think it was a really, really, I think this is a good start for a new generation of fighters to plan up on. Like for us, when we were growing up, the fighter for us was Street Fighter 2. And I feel that this game could be what Street Fighter 2 was for us for the new generation. Because this is a great fighting game that is balanced not only in just like the online kind of a situation, because they do really good on the online. The only thing, my only complaint with it is their microtransactions costs are a little ridiculous when it comes to it. Like I think there was like the Ninja Turtles for your avatar cost $15 per suit, and all it is a different color. So towards it, yeah.
It's kind of wacky, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous and weird, but other than that, like as for raw gameplay, the netcode is great. The character selection is good. It's fluid. They're doing a great job with DLC mixing with old with the new. There's a new mode called World Tour that allows you to go play that not only like plays in a weird open world game that gives you like missions and stuff like that where you can earn gear and stuff, but it also teaches you the mechanics of the game as well. And there's so many different small things that you can do, and it's also it's handicap accessible as well. Like there was a guy at Evo who was completely blind that was playing in the Evo tournament.
Yeah, I've seen that actually. Yeah,
that was able to play it. It was just like it's amazing. Like like I said, like I think Street Fighter 6 is a great platform, a great start for anyone who loves fighters, and let alone the fighting genre, to be like, okay, this is their Street Fighter 2, and then they could just build up to what they did on the good stuff that they did for this game. So that one is definitely on my list there.
That's what drew me into it, was the fact that there is this. You're telling me I can be a character in the Street Fighter universe? Yes, please. I haven't even gotten that deep into the game. That's all I've done is that mode. I haven't played any of the, just because like that was the thing that was super appealing to me. Mm-hmm. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I haven't played fight. I've seen people do like they get crazy with that. Like I don't get that sweaty. Well, at least not with fighting games. But like the fact that there was a campaign mode, you can have my money. This is the like one of the first fighting games I ever played. You know what I mean? I will always love Street Fighter. So I love how you described it. It's opened up for a new generation to be able to come in and experience it and learn and grow with it as well.
Oh yeah, because to go back, to go back into it, it's just like for us, we're basically we're old timers now, and we got to let the young bloods go figure out these fighting games themselves. Now we have to pass the torch, even though we don't want to. You know,
couple things I want to bring up really quick is like one, Street Fighter G's Capcom learned a lot from Street Fighter 5. You can tell.
Oh god,
Street Fighter 5 made a lot of very weird decisions, and from what I've seen, none of those have translated over into Street Fighter 6. And it gets like mad style points. The game is dripping with charisma. Mm-hmm. And I've also noticed a trend with fighting games as of late. And it's not just, of course, like capturing people in with just like being like full of flair, but it's also taking the time to really try to teach people how to play.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 is like it's very good at that because Street Fighter, while it is like simple on like on the surface, it is a very complex game, and most fighting games are, and that's what really stops people from really like investing a lot of time in them because like you could play games with your friends and like button mash and somebody wins, somebody loses, and you don't really understand how it's happening, but you're watching people fight, and no matter what, people just like watching people fight. It is what it is. Like people get turned off from fighting games when they try to play people outside their tribe. Like we see that with Street Fighter. I believe Mortal Kombat took a step in like trying to get people to like really learn how to play Mortal Kombat. We're seeing that in droves with Tekken 8 when that launches next year.
Yeah.
But I have to commend like not just Street Fighter, of course that's what we're talking about, but like just fighting games in general for like really trying to take the veil down and really bring people into like this is how you go from the button masher to how you can really enjoy yourself when you're playing online and things like that. And since Street Fighter is like the first game that this year, the first fighting game this year that came out, that's like really emphasizing that. Kudos.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think that the biggest thing, with Street Fighter 5 was just a wreck when it came out. On how it is, and I know that what they had to do is that they basically had to scrap. I mean, I hate for people to leave, but they basically let the longtime producer Yoshinori Ono. To leave and stuff, and then they switched over to a brand new guy. But the new dude is so appreciative for this genre, and you could easily tell because if you go on his Twitter feed, he's looking at old school art pieces from Street Fighter 2 all the way up to like Cap S and K and all these different kinds of cool stuff that he tried to bring back and to incorporate to this one. So you're totally right, but they definitely showed the love on this game, and it definitely is oozing with new charisma on it. So yeah. And my final game of the game of the year pick, and I don't think it's to no one's surprise, is going to be Baldur's Gate 3 because
of course.
Yes,
I expected someone to say something about it.
Dude, like Baldur's Gate, dude, I have beaten this game 5 different times on my own. And I've tried with so many different characters. I'm playing 2 co-op campaigns with two full sets of other people, and I'm playing a third co-op campaign with just me and a friend of mine, and I'm still playing. And then I'm doing a solo campaign with the Dark Urge, a section called the Dark Urge, where it's like a complete scenario that I have no idea about that I got from my interview with Amelia Tyler, with shameless plug. Go check out Pop Culture Gems. That she was telling me about like she loved the Dark Urge plots and stuff. So I was like, okay, I gotta check that out. So yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is just it's unbelievable. I played the old school Baldur's Gates. Those were good games. But 3, on the other hand, man, if you wanted to make a game the closest to D&D, basically to like straight Dungeons and Dragons and have the feel of Dungeons and Dragons, and then plus I'll do whatever the hell you're wanting to do, and then have consequences of your own personal actions, and that you have to be held accountable to whatever you choose. This is the game to do it, because this is an unbelievable game, though. Don't get me wrong, there are some slow parts, and it's not like the perfect game as always, but it is definitely, I just love playing this game. The organization, the customization, what you can do like with your characters and what your choices, just very, very fun game. I've dished out over 300 hours in this game already. And I love this. Yeah, I love it. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It definitely is as good as what people are says it is. So yeah, I would urge, if you love RPGs, if you love this kind of stuff, definitely play this game if you have not played this yet. And I mean, Smitty's hasn't played a lot of it, but he loves the game too, right?
I want to know what I want to get Lex thoughts on it too, because I don't know how much she's played. I feel like we've probably played around the same amount of time.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
I like Baldur's Gate. I just haven't had the mental capacity for it. And maybe it's just because I like to sit down and play D&D with people with me in the room kind of person. I mean, it's a beautiful game. So many people are enjoying it, and I'm so happy for them. I genuinely am. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea anymore. You know, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just missing that human element. And that's not to say my opinion is all knowing. Believe me, it is not. I think it's a beautiful game. I think it's done beautifully. I think it's the best of a D&D like, but on a computer. I'm not finding that urge to want to play it.
Okay.
You know?
Fair enough. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. What about you, Smithy?
Yeah, for me, and someone that has, I've done a campaign of real life D&D, loved it. This is like probably like basically taking that and transplanting it into a video game. I think Blue makes a good point. I think for me personally, it would have more of an impact on me playing a full solo run through of it.
I would agree with
trying to jump into co-op.
Yes,
I need that story and that stuff. And there's a lot, but like with co-op, you gotta try to figure out schedules. Then Joe Schmo over there or whoever wants to go do that thing, and I want to, you're just kind of a side character in your own gameplay. And I'm like, yo, dude, like I don't mind that. Don't get me wrong, but like I need to experience this as
It's a lot.
What I mean? My first person. This is it. Because I love choose your own adventures. I love gameplay mechanics like that. I love books like that. This is basically what that is, and the possibilities I feel like are endless. The game is obviously amazing. The depth, the story, the lore, the characters, this and that. It's not gonna be for everyone, but a game like this absolutely is for me. I just think that the best way I can experience it would be doing it solo first, as opposed to trying to do it in a group.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah. So those were my best games. Were you gonna say anything, Sana, before I move on? Just wanted to be sure. On the spot.
I guess all I can really say is like I haven't played it. I do remember, talking to folks about, what's going to win Game of the Year, because that's a topic, right? And despite me not playing Baldur's Gate, I have consistently said that Baldur's Gate will win, and of course, here we are, and Baldur's Gate has won Spice Game of the Year, or the VGAs or whatever that we're calling at this point. But I just look at the amount of goodwill that the dev has with everyone who's played the game. I also look at like the fact that there was a small amount of time where other developers were starting to get kind of scared, because they thought that that's what people would expect from a full price title. Which, honestly speaking, that's what we expect from a full price title. But it definitely shook the table quite a bit when it launched, and I recognized that right away. I saw gameplay of it. Not necessarily something I will play, despite the fact that my chat keeps trying to get me to play it. But it definitely deserves all the praise from what I've seen, because people are really enjoying themselves. And I think more games should strive to try to serve the general scope of that experience to like whenever with really any other game that comes out. It's a shining example, I think, of what a AAA full price game should be.
Oh God, yes, I totally agree. That's one of the biggest things I really definitely would wholeheartedly agree, because I don't know, maybe now it's about where because I'm older about it, and was at a time when you get a game, when you pay full price for a game, you get the complete game without worrying about, this game isn't fully complete. We got to wait till a patch to fix whatever the issues are with it, and those patches can last up to, because like it would really piss me off, because like I would have loved to put Star Wars the second one, the second Star Wars game that out this year, but it pissed me off because I had to wait 2 months to completely finish the game the way it was, because of a stupid glitch that was inside its coding that didn't allow me to finish the game. Yeah. So like, So like, but like stuff like that is just something that you remember more. And it sucks because the game is a fun game. It's a good game. But the thing that you remember the most is the glitch that makes you so pissed off, like why you spent so much on this and you just couldn't even enjoy it because you had to wait. You had to sit and wait until they fixed it. So yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, you remember, and I mean, it may not have been as big as the 2 month wait, but you had a glitch in Mario RPG. You remember the?
I did. Yes. Yeah. I had to look online to figure out how to get it fixed. And it was something that they were aware of too, where like you get to a certain area, something doesn't show up to help you advance, and like you basically have to go to a different area in order to, and like it'll kind of like re-trigger it, and you have to go back, and like it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
not hard, but I wouldn't have known that even existed had I not looked online. I thought I was tripping.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell do I gotta do? I put it down for a couple of days because of that. I was like, I'm gonna come back. Maybe I just need to sleep on it, and then I was like, I went back and I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do.
Did I lose? Did I forget something? Hold on. Did he not tell me something?
What's wrong with me? Stuff like that just really gets on me, and I am very specific, and you're right. I mean, like this, when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and then they just kept on crushing it. No extra microtransaction fees. They also gave the FU to scalpers for the collector's editions that they were doing too, by saying that they're going to be making more collector's editions next year, so scalpers can charge like $500 or $600 for the physical collector's editions anymore and stuff like that. They're doing everything legitimately right to the community, and then what makes it funny is that their competitors are afraid. It's like, oh, people are going to wise up, and this is what they're going to be expecting from us now. And stuff. And I'm just like, are you joking? It's like, oh, heaven forbid
this is what we used to expect. Like a game comes out, it's half done, it's broken all hell, and that developer would get flamed in reviews. Nowadays, it's just like, game comes out, let it patch a couple times, it'll be okay. It's like, no, that should not be the standard. That should be like a rare exception, if anything.
Yeah, and now we're at a time where it's like they're saying, "Oh, it's a Bethesda game," which leads me to my worst game of the year. I will say
it.
Yes, and I know that this is going to be it. And I say my worst game of the year is Starfield.
You slut!
I'm sorry. I have said this.
You are going to get attacked.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Here's my problem. Here's my problem, and this is what it is. I think of this, and then I was going by like I was saying earlier, like we weren't going by any kind of like glitches or like the games that we know that were going to be bad and stuff like that. But this is what I'm going to say. For months now, Smitty, and I know you already drank the Kool-Aid. I know you're all in on it, and it's cool. But for months now, I had said Starfield needs to be a banger. It needed to be a banger because they have been throwing a lot of crap at us for a long period of time. Bethesda's a lot of crap at us for a long period of time. They were throwing their weight on behind this game, right? And then I was like, okay, let me just see if this is good. So I didn't even buy it day one. I was just like, you know what? It's a Bethesda game. I know what to expect on most of these Bethesda games. So let me just see. Let me give it a month's time. And I'm just going to go play it on my own time and to my own accord. I played about, let's say, 23 hours. So I have a fair feeling of this game. Dude, the exploration is not this game isn't exploration at all whatsoever. It is not, because here's the biggest issue I have with it on it. And they said that this game was vast. We were promised that we were going to be going to different kinds of planets. We were going to go to see different kinds of worlds, be able to do different kinds of things. But at the end of the day, it's the same damn old thing. It's like these people don't have phones, and then the quest lines that they were telling us to do was telling us to go to point A to go to this guy. This guy needs me to do this. Then you go to that guy. It's a ridiculous loading screen. You talk to the guy says, oh, okay, here's the thing that this guy wants to go. Tell him I need this too. So you go back to the thing, and so and so. So it's like, so you do that for most of the freaking game towards that as your side missions. Then on top of that, it didn't allow you to freaking explore the planets that you're on. Every time when you go to the planets that you're on, they had a generic background that was showing a city in the landscape, in the farscape, and then that you can never go to, mind you. And then you go, and then you're walking around, and you're finding stuff. You're finding random ships landing, and then you go to those ships to be able to do other either small quests or small little missions and stuff. The game, you know what you wanted to play? If you wanted to play games like that, play Skyrim. All right, we played Skyrim 15 years ago. We got a lot more done with this kind of stuff. Oh, you would probably enjoy Skyrim more than you would play Starfield.
This is why I have a different opinion about it. Yes,
and then, let alone play Mass Effect. Play Mass Effect 2. I mean, like hell, like or any of this stuff. But my biggest issue is that fair. But my biggest issue is like this game is not what we were promised at all whatsoever. I mean, well, let's say it was like it's not. This is their attempt for a space exploration game. It is poor. It is a poor excuse for a space exploration game. The one thing that I loved about this game was the ship customization. That was it. Like the one thing that they did. Everything was so repetitive. It didn't make any sense on the main story. The storyline didn't make any sense. And I'm just like, and you know what's funny? I got a sense of solace when people were like saying, when people were saying that Starfield was not a good game, and then a lot of different kinds of back and forth when Bethesda themselves were trying to gaslight them, saying that it was or whatever. But
you talking about on Steam, right?
Yeah, on Steam.
Oh my god,
yeah, it's freaking ridiculous.
Dude.
Yeah,
like who does that?
No.
What other developer has ever done that? What? Oh my god!
He's like, no, you're wrong. Your opinion doesn't make it. Your opinion isn't valid. It is a good game. It's like, don't tell me what it is. I mean, I understand about like this kind of stuff, but you're telling me, no. You're trying to say that this game is what you're like. I don't know this. I mean, with the massive delays, which I'm perfectly fine with it when your game is done.
Delay a game if it needs it. Go ahead and delay it.
But this is what your vision was. And I think that's the problem, was your vision was less than what we have ever played in the whole situation. And I think, and that's why I can't let this go. Like, and for me, it's for Bethesda itself. Like, I think I'm done. I think I am done with trying to give Bethesda any kind of chances with it. Cause I mean, with all these levels of they have not been straight with us. I mean, because remember, like with Fallout 76 and the expansions and stuff, and they're saying, we'll never pay out with the stuff like that. And then guess what they do the year later? Oh, hey, there's a new special pass and stuff. Yeah. So no, I'm done. Like, no, Bethesda, think that Bethesda is a AAA studio again. They're like, I don't care, dude. There's no way I'm ever spending or ever dealing with the hype of a Bethesda game ever again because of this. Because like they had their chance. I was like, okay, we'll see how it is. I play it and I'm like, okay, this is just terrible, dude. This is your like I'm waiting for the Oblivion game, and we'll see how much of how it's going to run laps over the game that you just showed us with freaking Starfield. So what were you going to say? What were you going to?
I think that's fair. And here's where I'm coming from. I've never played a Bethesda game. I've never finished. I've played a little bit of Fallout 3 or 4 or one of them. I saw what they did to their fan base with Fallout 76, and I was like, what a shit show. What a shitty ass company to do shenanigans like that. So already there, I was like, Bethesda, and don't get me wrong, they've got little arms and stuff like that, because Deathloop was my game of the year here a couple years ago. I absolutely love that game. Then obviously was Arcane, which they just did
Redfall.
Thank you. So that was, that's a thing.
And that was a
thing. That happened. Yes, it did happen.
That was a game of all time.
That was a game I played.
Yes.
But yeah, in terms of, I can understand. To me, I never really saw this, I guess, as a space. I know they were saying it a space exploration, and you can go and do that shit and whatnot. That to me was not like, for me, what I've enjoyed playing of it is just like, to me, it's like a fucking space opera. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just going, there's a story and there's people and there's things I'm doing. I can over encumber myself and like, which I'm basically like, which is terrible, but that's a thing. So like, I'm like steadily playing it here or there. I can't one way or the other say this is a good game or this is a bad game. I'm enjoying the mechanics and things that I'm playing, but without finishing it and not really having any kind of prior history other than what I've heard and a little bit of the one Fallout game that I played that I never finished, by the way. That's really where I was coming from that, I guess. So like, I guess why that to me, it's always felt shocking. Obviously, like some of the faces, I was like, what the fuck is that, dude? Like,
yeah, I didn't even mention that. Yeah,
I didn't just make it out of QA.
Yeah, you're totally right. Totally right.
That's insane, but I can. It was shocking to hear it, but okay, I understand. I'm taking it in. I'm taking it in.
You know what I think though? Like I'm telling you, if you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. Is because who cares what I think? But but I'm just saying that like if you're wanting to play like something that's space exploration, like there are a ton of games better than what Starfield was, especially the hype that Starfield pushed for the past 3 years for people. Like the Outer Worlds, great game. It's a great game. You do the same thing essentially what Starfield is, but it's more meatier. It has a lot of other different things inside it that you could do. Maybe some things you can't do, like customize your ships and stuff. But it is a legitimate successor of what you should be able to do in this game in itself. Like a game that came out 10 years ago or like 12 years ago, Mass Effect series, like the Mass Effect 1, 2, the trilogy is great. I mean, it's a little more linear than what this one is, but you get to do so much more. I feel like you get so much more than what you could do. But I just think that I'm just saying with the mix of the hype that they did in this, with just the asinine random things that you like, the same repetitiveness that this game gives you and stuff like that, it is nowhere near to the level of hype that it should have gotten, or the praise that some people say, oh, I can't believe this game didn't get Game of the Year in the Game Awards. It's like there is a goddamn reason why.
Game of the decade. That's this game of the generation. This game of all this other. Oh my god!
It's Pepsi. It's a Pepsi sponsored game. It's the new generation. It's the focus points of the new generation. That's what this game is. Yeah. Nope. Not buying it. Not buying it at all. Yeah.
I have to agree. You got farther in the game than I did, to be perfectly honest. And I played it because, I was a very big fan of Skyrim. So I played, my history with Bethesda has been Oblivion, Skyrim. I played a bit of Fallout 4, I want to say. And I couldn't really get through a Fallout 4 because the shooting mechanics just felt so bad. It was an RPG versus shooter.
It was pointless.
It was horrible.
Yeah, the shooting in that was more pointless than I've ever seen before for a Fallout game. I totally agree.
Right. So so that's my history with them. If there's anything that Bethesda has shown that they're able to do, they're able to make it a very interesting world. And that's what really got, especially Skyrim, that's what catapulted Skyrim to like the superstardom. That's what caused it to win Game of the Year, honestly, despite the fact that you had Sabertooth that, would just become airborne randomly or whatever nonsense happened. The Bethesda jinx, as they call it.
Yeah.
So I play Starfield, thinking it's going to be similar to that at the very least, if they're going to make a game that's similar, that fits their style. And I just could not get into it.
Mm-hmm.
It was way too segmented as a game. And I think the fact that they focused on having so many planets that you can go to in all this, and making explorations like planet hopping and space travel, that just really lost. That was lost upon me. So going in and out of buildings and seeing loading screen, wanting to go someplace else, having to go into another menu to go into my ship, and then the ship was just the ship navigation is what really turned me off of that game, to be perfectly honest. This is like it was confusing as heck to me, and that could be a skill issue, perfectly fine, whatever. It was confusing as heck, and I just found out it's like, oh, I'm just jumping between different points. I'm not do I have to even pilot this ship? Like, I'm just spending all my time in a menu, and I want to go out and explore the worlds and experience the story, and I really didn't get that feeling. It was too segmented. It was just I was in menus half the time. The combat was at least serviceable,
semi good, yeah.
So I really don't have any complaints about that, but it's like if there's just these roadblocks for me to actually really experience the game, I didn't give it the 3 or 4 hours that people kept saying I had to give it in order to enjoy. It's like, it should grip me right away. I don't want to have to wait to experience the game, right?
Yeah. It's like what Ravage is saying here on inside the chat. It says, let's go ahead and turn on the engines and fly towards the planet. Nope, can't do that. It's like, okay, well, let's fly to the orbit. Nope, can't do that either. It's just like it was. I can't even say I'm disappointed because the last Bethesda game that I really enjoyed myself was Fallout New Vegas personally. So or Skyrim. Besides Skyrim,
wasn't that made by Obsidian anyway?
It was made by
New
Obsidian.
Vegas?
It was made by Obsidian. So okay, so no, I can't really count that. So you're right. So like I would say Fallout 3 was probably my favorite because 4, I just couldn't get into 4. I tried 4 and I was like, this does not feel the same as what 3 was. 3 was really fun. But yeah, so I right now, I mean, I don't believe one word that Bethesda will tell me ever again at this point. Even though the next game is Elder Scrolls, the new Elder Scrolls game is coming, but we don't know when. Because and what's even worse, and what's even worse about this is like, man, they spent so much time for this game. Like they spent so much time for this game. Is what really kills me on this.
The engine is so antiquated though.
Yeah.
And like, again, it's going to be the same with Oblivion. I feel like if they're working off the same stuff, like how much could it really change and how much can you build into this engine? I feel like they should have already been developing and working on a new engine that they can then utilize and work with the next gen stuff.
I don't know what they're. To be honest with you, I don't know what they need to do to fix it because I mean, but it just seems like they've been on the downward skid. I mean, overall, when you really think about like the games that they've released and from what where their high point was, because it's kind of like BioWare, when BioWare was at like at one point in time it was here, but then it just started but they just been on this weird skid going downwards, which is really unfortunate. So. Anyways, that's my worst game of the year. That was I know that was a surprise to a lot, to some folks like that. And, but what I love about that, I was quiet. I just wanted to just see how this game was because I wanted to try this game. Yeah. And I just wanted to try it out and to see what it was. I knew I wasn't going to stream it. I just wanted to enjoy it myself, to sit down and play the game and see how it was. And, I gave it the good old college try and I just realized I do not like it. So, So yeah. So, but anyways, Sano, thank you so much for stopping by. It was really awesome. It was really awesome talking gaming with you, man. It was really cool. Definitely, guys, check out Sano's Twitch page, Sano the Lantern. What is usually stream, Sano?
It varies. My next day streaming, I believe, is going to be Sunday.
Oh, Sunday?
Yeah, going back in Final Fantasy VII Remake on Sunday.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, that's right. That's cool. So guys, definitely check him out. He's a really cool streamer. So guys, but folks, once again, this is David. Oh no, whoa. I don't know what I was just saying, shutting you down, but sorry. But guys, thank you so much for watching episode number 202 of the CFG Gamecast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. This is the last episode of 2023, so we will not be back next week. We will be back in mid-January. So we're going to have a good vacation time to come back with some new and incredible conversations as always. But if you missed this episode, that is perfectly all right. We do release this every Monday morning on all podcast services, so you can definitely check us out on any podcast service out there, and there is absolutely no reason to miss out on all sexy voices.
Bye.
Guys, and also be sure to go check out a new interview that I did over on Pop Culture Gems with Tara Sands and Steve Yurko about 4Kids, the 4Kids and publishing entertainment called 4Kids Flashback. It was a really fun interview talking about some of these folks. You know what I'm talking about.
See this. I need to see this.
Yeah, definitely.
You know how much I make fun of 4Kids on a daily basis? I need to see this.
Shoot, everyone. Yes. You want me to give you a spit and then we'll give you a think of it? So Tara Sands, she is the English dub voice actor of Mokuba from Yu-Gi-Oh! And so
my god,
yeah. So she's been doing. So she's worked with 4Kids, and but then she wanted to do a podcast about like what the like how the hell does this company work, and then interviews all sorts of folks that worked for kids during that time and stuff. So it's really cool. So yeah, definitely go check it out. So Pop Culture Gems, all podcast services out there. So be sure to definitely check it out. It had a really good entertaining interview. So but folks, once again, this is Davis, Lex, Sano, and I know I'm missing. Oh, and Smitty. There we go.
Wow, what a dick! What a dick!
Yo,
what a dick!
We are signing out. Y'all take it easy and have a happy holiday.
Merc Chrysler.
Bye, everybody.
Oh.